This is MonkeyNana, just an ordinary gorilla trying to live his life. He wakes up, grabs his wallet, walks to the banana shop, and then something strange happens. Every year, the same amount of money buys him fewer bananas. He isn't eating more, the bananas aren't getting smaller. So what's going on? Today, MonkeyNana wants to understand why his money keeps losing power, and how inflation really works. Not long ago, just a few dollars could buy MonkeyNana a whole bunch of bananas. But today, the same dollars buy only a few. Nothing about his life has changed. He earns the same, he eats the same. Yet somehow, he feels poorer. It's almost like the money in his wallet is slowly shrinking. This shrinking power of money has a name: inflation. Inflation means prices rise over time, and the same amount of money buys less. $1 used to buy a banana, now it might take two. But the banana didn't change, the value of the money did. But why does this happen? Why do prices slowly rise, even if bananas stay the same? It's because the economy works like a giant marketplace. Prices change based on supply, demand, production costs, and most importantly, how much money exists. If more money enters the system, it changes everything. When the amount of money increases faster than the amount of goods, prices rise. Imagine an island with 100 monkeys and 1,000 bananas. If suddenly everyone has twice as much money, but the number of bananas stays the same, monkeys will compete harder to buy them. More money chasing the same bananas leads to, you guessed it, higher prices. Inflation gets even stronger when new money is created faster than the economy grows. If a government prints a lot of money, the total money supply expands, but the number of bananas, products, and services does not magically double. So each dollar becomes less special, less scarce, and people need more dollars to buy the same things. MonkeyNana sees the price of bananas rise not because bananas changed, but because the value of his money changed. Inflation can also happen when everyone suddenly wants more stuff. If demand rises faster than supply, sellers naturally raise prices. Imagine a banana shop with only a few bunches left, but a crowd of hungry monkeys rushes in wanting to buy them. With many buyers and limited bananas, the shop owner increases the price simply because he can. Sometimes prices rise because producing things becomes more expensive. If farmers pay more for fuel, fertilizer, equipment, or labor, they must raise prices just to survive. MonkeyNana doesn't see these hidden costs, but they affect every banana he buys. This kind of inflation is called cost-push inflation. Higher costs push prices up. Inflation can also come from outside a country. If the goods a nation imports, like fuel, food, or raw materials, become more expensive, then everything produced at home becomes pricier too. MonkeyNana learns that even bananas can cost more if shipping costs rise or foreign suppliers charge higher prices. Inflation can feed on itself. When workers expect prices to rise, they ask for higher wages. Businesses then raise their prices to pay those wages. Workers demand even more, and the cycle continues. This repeating loop is known as the wage price spiral, and once it starts, it can be very hard to stop. One of the most surprising causes of inflation is simple expectations. If people expect prices to rise in the future, they adjust their behavior today. Workers ask for higher wages, shops increase prices early, businesses buy materials before they get more expensive. And all of these actions, driven by fear, actually create the inflation they were trying to avoid. When a country's currency loses value against other currencies, imports become more expensive. If MonkeyNana's dollar becomes weaker compared to foreign money, everything he buys from abroad, fuel, tools, materials, suddenly costs more. These higher import costs trickle into every corner of the economy, and prices rise even if local production stays the same. When governments spend more money than they collect in taxes, they run a deficit. To cover that gap, they often borrow, and sometimes they create new money. MonkeyNana discovers that when national debt grows too fast, countries may print money to pay the bills. But printing money without a matching increase in real production almost always leads to higher inflation. Inflation can also rise when borrowing becomes too easy. If banks offer cheap loans with low interest rates, people and businesses borrow more, which pumps more money into the economy. MonkeyNana sees everyone buying houses, cars, bananas, and everything else on credit. And as demand explodes, prices follow right behind. One of the most famous examples of extreme inflation happened in Germany in 1923. After World War I, the government printed enormous amounts of money to pay its debts. Prices didn't just rise, they exploded. A loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January eventually cost 200 billion marks by November. People rushed to spend their money immediately, because waiting even a few hours meant it was worth less. Some carried cash in wheelbarrows. MonkeyNana realizes that when money loses value too fast, it stops functioning as money at all. Another extreme case happened in Zimbabwe in the 2000s. After political instability and economic collapse, the government printed massive amounts of money. Inflation reached a level where prices doubled every day. The central bank printed a $100 trillion note, but even that could barely buy groceries. MonkeyNana learns that money only has value when people trust it. Once that trust breaks, even huge numbers become meaningless. Some countries don't face sudden hyperinflation, but long-lasting, chronic inflation. Argentina is a good example. For decades, prices have steadily risen year after year. People expect inflation as a normal part of life, and that expectation keeps the cycle alive. MonkeyNana sees that not all inflation happens suddenly. Sometimes it's a slow burn that makes saving nearly impossible. In some countries, inflation rises because the currency weakens against others. Turkey is one example where a falling exchange rate led to higher import costs. As the currency lost value, products like fuel, technology, and food became more expensive. And those rising costs spread through the whole economy. MonkeyNana learns that when a country relies heavily on imports, a weaker currency can quickly push prices upward. In the 1970s, even the United States faced a major inflation crisis. Oil prices skyrocketed after global conflicts, and the economy slowed down. This created something rare and dangerous: stagflation, high inflation, and low economic growth happening at the same time. MonkeyNana sees that inflation can strike even the world's largest economies when key resources suddenly become more expensive. Inflation doesn't just raise prices, it slowly eats away at savings. If MonkeyNana stores his money under a banana tree for a year, he'll find that it buys less when he comes back. Even though the number on the bills stays the same, the buying power quietly shrinks. This is why inflation feels like an invisible tax on everyone. Inflation also changes how borrowing works. If prices rise, old debts become easier to pay back because the money you owe becomes less valuable over time. This is why some borrowers don't fear inflation, but lenders and savers often do. MonkeyNana learns that inflation helps borrowers, but hurts anyone trying to save. For businesses, inflation makes planning extremely difficult. If prices change every week, how can a shop set stable prices? How can a farmer plan the next harvest? When MonkeyNana visits different shops, he sees price tags being rewritten again and again, a sign that uncertainty is spreading through the economy. At the end of the day, inflation hits MonkeyNana where it hurts most: his daily shopping basket. Bananas, bread, fuel, clothes, everything costs more than last year. He's not earning more, but he's spending more. This is when MonkeyNana finally understands. Inflation isn't just numbers. It's something he feels in his everyday life. To fight inflation, central banks play a crucial role. They control the amount of money in the economy and try to keep prices stable. When inflation rises too fast, they step in, adjusting interest rates, limiting money creation, and trying to cool the economy down. MonkeyNana learns that inflation is not just a market problem. It's something entire countries actively manage. One of the most powerful weapons against inflation is raising interest rates. Higher rates make borrowing more expensive, so people take fewer loans and spend less money. This slows down demand and helps cool off rising prices. MonkeyNana finally understands. When interest rates go up, the economy slows down. On purpose. Fighting inflation is never easy. If governments raise rates too much, the economy can slow down too fast. If they raise them too little, inflation keeps rising. It's a delicate balance, and every decision affects millions of people. MonkeyNana realizes that controlling inflation is one of the hardest jobs in economics. While inflation makes things expensive, the opposite, deflation, can also be dangerous. Deflation means prices are falling. Sounds good, right? But falling prices can freeze the economy because people delay spending, waiting for things to get even cheaper. MonkeyNana learns that both extremes, high inflation and deep deflation, can hurt an economy in different ways. So what did MonkeyNana learn today? Inflation happens for many reasons. More money in the economy, higher demand, rising costs, weaker currency, and even simple expectations. It affects savings, borrowing, businesses, and everyday life. Most importantly, inflation is not just a number. It's the story of how money changes over time. MonkeyNana now knows one thing for sure. Understanding inflation helps him make smarter decisions and stops him from losing bananas without knowing why. If you enjoyed learning with MonkeyNana, there's a lot more he wants to explain. Hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and join him on the next adventure, one banana at a time.